Oh, hello.
How you doing? All right?
Nice to see you.
And you?
So we're here at the Women in Business Show. We're both part of the media team. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Pete Bresser. I run my company I call Bresser Photography and Digital Media. The emphasis is mainly on photography these days, but I've been running it since 2008. So when I started, I had more emphasis on the digital media, which is doing websites and things like that. But these days, I'm more happy behind the camera, taking photographs of people, getting good copy for their social media, for their websites, or print media if they prefer.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think we were talking about it yesterday when we were both setting up. There's a big lack of people investing into their digital media, right? Isn't it really?
Definitely.
When it comes to photography, headshots and stuff like that, it's so important to have a good quality image. Tell people the benefits of a decent headshot.
Definitely. Well, so funny enough, I've got a blog article that I've scheduled to come out in a couple of weeks' time on my website, so www.bresserphotos.com. I'm talking very specifically about headshots, why you need to make sure it's a professional shot, and why it needs to be up to date. I mean, it's very common for people to use a shot that they've had taken 5, 10, 15 years ago, and they go, "Oh, but I really like that photo." I went, "Yeah, but it's not who you are now. That's not what you look like."
I gotta say, there's a clear difference from a photo of me a few years ago. This white patch on my beard, it's getting wider as I get older. But
and it's all those things really. It's like so I've just done photographs for Tim Aker as part of FSB, and the reason that he wanted some new shots done, his last set were done 3 years ago, and he's lost 40 pounds of weight.
Yeah, he looks
and he
fantastic.
That's no longer me. That's not what if he turns up and the only time you've seen him is on his profile on LinkedIn or something like that, and he turned up in person, you go, "Hey, are you the same person?"
Yeah.
No, So there's two things there. Is that the fact that he's lost so much weight means that he doesn't look the same as he did previously. So it's just good practice to make sure that when you meet somebody in person, that there's no dissonance between what you've seen online and what you actually see in real life.
Yeah, I think there's an emphasis on that on a number of things, not just your imagery, but also the copy that you put into the stuff. That I think as a business, something we have an issue with is our personalities on camera and in person. It's very different to the personalities that we can reveal in text format. So
True enough.
It's definitely things to consider and think about.
I mean, we are. I mean, it's not least of it. We're driven completely by visual media these days. I mean, in fact, because we consume so much social media, what happens is we are more drawn to the visual side of things than we are to the text. And you'll see that virtually every post that's ever posted now on these things has some kind of video or photographic content, because that's the way you stop people from scrolling past the text.
Yeah.
And so it's incredibly important now that you get people's attention very quickly, which you can do with video and photography in a way that you just cannot do with text.
Yeah. I think for me, someone who mainly works in video and social media and stuff like that, the importance of photography, even in that, in creating things like thumbnails, having somebody like yourself go, all right, let's do a range of emotions. Let's create the images that will last for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And you may need bits touched up and stuff like that. Ideally, you're the person to do that as well, where you just get people who do it on the phones. The quality's not the same, especially when it comes to lighting and stuff like that.
Oh, it's such like. So you're a fellow professional, you know the value of lighting. You've got great lights here at the moment. You're using a softbox which diffuses the light. You're using an umbrella which again casts a lot of light but softens it so you don't get harsh shadows. I have some pet hates of photographs that I see on LinkedIn. So there are two that are really, really bug me. The first is when somebody takes a photograph of them to show who they are on LinkedIn, and they might let's say they're an accountant, okay?
Yeah.
But the photograph they use is of them on holiday with a ruddy red face, a glass of red in one hand, and the bottle in the other, sweating profusely. How is that a good match to what people are seeing of your work as an accountant?
definitely.
That doesn't work for me. So that's my big pet hate. That's the one that really gets me. But the other one that amazes me, and I do get it. I do understand people want to take their own photograph. There's a certain amount of, I can do this. I've got a phone in my pocket that's got a really good camera. I can get some good shots for that. I get that. But what happens then is they go and stand against a very, very bright window, and the camera is not set for anything other than automatic. And the camera just goes, oh, there's a lot of light coming through. I need to make sure that I'm exposed for that light.
Yeah.
So the person then looks like a shadow against it. And the other one that you see a lot, and I know that you've seen this, is that so you're like me. You on the whole, you tend to overpower any ambient light. So the light that's coming from the lights we've got above us, for example, and if by overpowering that light, we control the amount of light that's falling on our subject. But of course, the average person doesn't do that. They take the phone, they take it out, and they might be standing directly underneath a light, very bright light. So, both you and I, we have...
Like me who's got a...
Oh, yeah, so there's a lot of shining. But the other thing is, it creates these huge pools of shadow in the eyes. And the one thing that you've got to get right in a photograph or video is showing the eyes.
Yeah.
If you don't show the eyes, you lose a certain level of
They do
connection.
They connect.
Yeah.
See, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're saying the exact same thing. But
Exactly.
So tell everyone again who you are, where to find you, and a bit about what you do. And
Thank you, I will do. So, Pete Bresser, Bresser Photography and Digital Media. You'll find me on the web at www.bresserphotos.com. Come and have a look at some of the examples of work I've got on there. There's hundreds of examples there because I've been around forever. I'm a very old fart, obviously. If you're at the show, then come and have a look at the stand. I've got examples on the stand of work that I've done for corporate and family photography.
fantastic. Thank you
Ben,
very much.
thank you very much. That's
All right,
brilliant.
speak to you soon.
Cheers.